is what you make it. Yeah. Hey, remember life is what you make it. Yeah. Ooh, remember life is what you make it. Yeah, ooh, life is what you make it.
Right about now.
Welcome back to the show. Fantastic, freaky, funny football Friday. And thank you for joining your boy. Super Bowl 51. I think I pretty much decided, man, that I think I got my decision, man. I think I know who I'm going to take in this game. I think I know. I think I know, man. I think I know. I think I know. That's coming up in hour number 3, the Power Hour. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstreetshow.com. Oh, I'm glad I just remembered. We will be doing a Fire Fan League for the Super Bowl this Sunday. Right. We will be doing a Fire Fan League this Sunday for the Super Bowl. So go to firefan.com. On the very first page, use promo code TDSS. All right, that's TDSS. And join the league and look for an invite for the Super Bowl League this Sunday. One quick thing before I jump into this entertainment. I'm giving these little nuggets all day long about the game, the big game coming up this Sunday. The NFL.com, they did a preseason Super Bowl Madden simulation. Okay? Their preseason Super Bowl Madden simulation pitted the Falcons playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Did you hear what I just said? Hold on. Did you hear what I just said? That's right. In the Madden simulation of the 2016 season, they pitted the Atlanta Falcons against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had the Atlanta Falcons beating the Pittsburgh Steelers 41-35. So, hey, you know, if you one of them superstitious cats, man, I mean, that's a good indicator. That's a great indicator. Let's talk some entertainment. What's today's date? Today's date is February 3rd, 2017. Celebrating birthdays today is singer, I think he's just a singer, Sean Kingston. Sean Kingston turns 26 years old today. Happy birthday to him. He better stop trying to start fights with the game. I know that much. Sean Kingston turns 26 years old. Happy birthday to him. Julio Jones. Quintaris Lopez Jones. Mama call him, and the streets call him Julio, though. Where did they get Julio from? Like, what's this? I don't know. There's got to be a backstory to a dude from Foley, Alabama, having all of these, you know, Latino-type names. So Julio Jones turns 27 years old. Happy birthday to him. Maybe he had a Puerto Rican uncle or something like that. I don't know. Happy birthday to him. And is that it? Did we have any? We did have a Stewie birthday. Here we go. No more celebrity birthdays. But shouts out to Brooke Slade. That's Robert Slade's wife. Stewie. Today is her birthday. Robert Slade says that she's turning an undisclosed amount of years today. That's smart. That's smart. That's smart. So happy birthday to Brooke Slade from the Doug Stewart Show and the Stewies. Yeah. And that's it. I know a lot of y'all saw last night, man. I did not see it. I had a meeting last night, and I didn't get done till like 10:30. When I came home, it was still on. Like I caught like the last 20 minutes of it. Last night, the 30 for 30 on the XFL. Let me say this. I will go back and watch the whole thing this weekend. But let me just give you my opinions about the XFL before I even see this documentary. Man, I thought the XFL was like the coolest idea and the greatest thing in the history of the world. I was a huge fan of the XFL. and from what I understand and just talking to people, man, the XFL had a lot of fans. It had a lot of fans, man, and Vince McMahon, the owner of it, you know, he kind of tried to infuse wrestling with football. And I like the concept. You know me, I like crazy, off-the-wall, off-the-cuff type stuff. Like, I don't like the NFL, no fun league or whatever, you know. I don't like the fact that the NFL wants it to be so monotone and you can't do this, you can't do that. So I've always had that opinion. And so the league came around in 1999, man. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. They had these stripper, you know, cheerleaders, and they did all of these crazy, boisterous things, man. I thought it was a great idea, man, and it only stayed around for a year, folded after a year. So I can't wait to see it. I don't know. Y'all give me your thoughts. Was it good? I'm guessing it has to be good. I watched the last, once again, like 10 minutes in the little dinner at the end. They had Vince McMahon and Dick Ebersol, who was the president at the time of NBC, I think, where they aired the games. And they were talking about their relationship and how they really thought it could work and, you know, would they do it differently? One thing I will say, Vince McMahon, something don't look right about Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon looks like he's an old man now, and he's probably in his 60s. But Vince McMahon looks like that he's had a lot of plastic surgery. He looks like a freaking mannequin. He could barely even move his mouth. Let me see how old Vince McMahon is. Like, Vince McMahon looked creepy. Wow, he's 71 years old. Right, so he's even older than I thought. Did Vince McMahon not look creepy as hell last night? Huh? But anyway, so they were talking about the league, and Ebersol asked him, man, you know, did you ever think about trying to do it again and just fixing the little problems that you had and the marketing issues that y'all had? And Vince was like, man, I've thought about it many times. I like football, period. Like, I watch the Arena League. I don't make a point to watch it, but I watch the Arena League. I watch USFL, or not USFL football, Canadian football. I watched USFL football back in the day, and I really like the fun atmosphere, the cool kind of hip atmosphere that they tried to infuse in football. You know, it's kind of like, you know, the ABA and the NBA. You know, the NFL is just so, you know, just boring. And a lot of things that they do. Football is still great. I mean, we're going to watch football no matter what. But all of the darn restrictions about dancing in the end zone, you can't have a good time, and you can't wear this, you can't act like that, you can't do this. I hate that, man. So I really was rooting for the XFL. It didn't work. I think there's some clear things on why it didn't work. I would love for somebody to come back with another business model like that and just fix some of the little things that went wrong. But I can't wait to watch it this weekend. What y'all think about it? Yeah. All right, as I told you earlier, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. As I told you earlier, Michael Vick wrote an open letter in the Players Tribune, I guess to fans, to the team, and to the city of Atlanta. And what I want to do is I want to read like some of the major parts of the letter, and I'm taking a lot of this. They actually have it already broken down in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. So here from Mike Vick on this letter, he says, on the first day of my sentence at Leavenworth Penitentiary in November 19, 2007, I made a list of 3 things that I wanted to accomplish. 1 was to make it home from prison safe. I'm sure you did. 2 was to see my grandmother again before she passed away. And 3 was to return to the Atlanta Falcons as their starting quarterback and finish what I had started. I wanted to lead the Falcons to the Super Bowl. When I tell people this, at first, I think most of them have the same reaction, that I was delusional. That's the thought I had. Mike, you really thought that after all that you were going to come back to the Falcons and start at quarterback like nothing had happened? I think people would hear that I had hung on to the hope of returning to Atlanta as their quarterback and then maybe assume that I was in denial about my entire situation, that I still wasn't able to accept the full severity of what I had done. But to be honest, that really wasn't the case at all. In those first few months of my sentence, I really did come to understand how far I had fallen. I came to understand how much hurt I had caused and how much work it was going to take to earn back just a portion of the respect that I had lost. Both people's respect for me and my respect for myself. I came to accept the consequences. But in my mind, even from a prison cell, there was at least one thing I hadn't lost. I was still the Atlanta Falcons quarterback. This is something I've been meaning to do for a while as my playing career in the NFL winds down and as I reflect on the past and really start to contemplate where I go from here. Well, one thing I've known I always wanted to do was write a letter, and not just any letter. I wanted to write a letter to the city of Atlanta. I wanted to write to the city as a whole and to the people in it to remember, I guess, and to say thanks. And maybe also just to sort of reflect. Because without Atlanta, man, without Atlanta, I'm nothing. Without Atlanta, I may not even be here to write this today. And when the Falcons beat the Packers 2 weeks ago and made it to the Super Bowl, well, it seemed like the perfect time. It's been almost 10 years now since I last played it down for the Falcons. And for whatever reason, and it's hard to explain, there's something about this year and the season that just feels right. It seems like Atlanta, as a team, as a city, as a culture, is finally coming full circle. And in my own small way, I hope I am too. Wow. If you're not from Atlanta, if you weren't here to witness the Vick years and understand the atmosphere in this city around Falcons games, you probably just won't understand. And I say this all the time. You just won't understand. Vick was our guy. Simple as that. A lot of people nationally, and I talk to people, even a lot of people in this city. A lot of people in this city don't like Mike Vick. A lot of people don't like, the fact that he went to jail for a couple of years for fighting dogs, which is stupid as hell. How could you do that? A lot of people don't like Mike Vick, man. A lot of people are mad at Mike Vick because they feel like Mike Vick, did the team and the organization wrong. So I get it. But for the vast majority of people in this city, once again, Atlanta is a black city. Michael Vick this is the way I explain to people all the time. Michael Vick kind of reminded you of that cousin that just wouldn't do right. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did a bunch of knuckleheaded things. In relative terms, no big things. Michael Vick never really got in trouble before, and that was part of the argument on why I felt like his sentence was too severe. Like, he never got into real major trouble, but he used to do, like, little things. Like, you remember the little, he had the little weed and a little secret little thing in the airport, and there was a couple of little things that he did. And then just to look at him. I mean, he was personified, young, black, and don't give a F. He had the braids, he wore the baggy clothes, Timberland boots wherever he went. For the post-game press conferences, he never wore a suit like some of the other big names in the sport. And so a lot of people just didn't like his persona. It's as simple as that. But